Hi guys, it's Amy with Aim to Plan, and today I'm here with a fun little video talking about the evolution of my planning style. So I have got something very fun. I have found a very old planner from my stash. This planner is from 2009, so it is 15 years old. I started this planner basically the end of January and going into is basically February and March. So there are 2 months worth of planning in this planner. I'm actually not going to flip through it, or like not flip through the entire thing. If you want to see a full flip through of it, I'm more than happy to do that. It will just be a separate video. Just let me know in the comments if you're interested in that, and I will do that. But this video is really just talking about how my planning style has changed. I have always considered myself a planner. I have, from the very beginning, like I would say, I don't remember in middle school if I had a planner, but I know for sure in high school I always had a planner. They were always the planners that you got from school. So it's the student planner that, your school, your high school gives to you for free. So I always used those planners. When I went into college, I also used a planner. It again was the planner that the colleges would pass out during orientation. And so I always had a planner. I also did pick up my own planners during that time. So I would go to Books A Million. When I worked there at Books A Million, I would pick up a planner. And I also did, from the very beginning of college, have a digital calendar. So I always did, whether it was like Microsoft Outlook or whether it was Hotmail or Gmail or Google Calendar, I always had a digital calendar. But this planner, from what I can tell, is the first one that I kind of DIY'd myself. This one is what I would consider like a precursor to bullet journaling, and so I will flip through it and just talk to you about what I did in here. This to me, as I was flipping through it and just kind of cleaning it up, getting rid of names, things like that, it really brought back to mind the things that I really love about planning, and it really highlights for me that I've kind of always planned the same way. There are some differences, and so we'll talk about that in this video, but a lot of it is very similar. So I'm going to show you a couple of spreads in this planner, and then I'm going to, for fun, show you the same month in 2024. So I'm going to do a couple of, like, maybe 2 weeks of February 2009, and then we'll do a couple of weeks, 2 weeks of February 2024. And so let's get into it. I'm so excited about this video. So like I said, I've always had a planner, but this is, I think, from what I can tell, the first one that I have done myself, right? So I always had, again, a student planner or something that was just kind of put together for me. So this one was a notebook. It was just very simply a notebook. I got it from Big Lots for $2, as you can see here. I'm sure these books are much more expensive nowadays, but let's get into it. So like I said, it was basically in here, it's February and March of 2009. And then once I finished the book, I just moved to a different book. And so I went ahead and whited out all the names, things like that. But this one, it was just the end of January. And so I am going to guess, because I don't actually remember, but just guessing, what I did was, because I moved into a new book, I transferred all of the tasks from my previous system, whatever that system was, to this front page. And so that's what this kind of looks like. But this is actually what all of the pages in here look like. And so again, I can do a full flip through if you're interested in that. But what I did was put the date across the top, just like you can see here. And then I would split this into a column. And so this column was each hour. It started at 7, right? It's not written in there, but it's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just going all the way down, right? And so I'll hold it a little bit closer so you can see, but like, if I had an event at that time, I would put the hour, right? So it'd be 9, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Right here, you can see I put 2:30, right? So I'll put the 2 to note that it was at 2 o'clock, but then I put 30, obviously, because it's at 2:30, right? So that's the first column, is just these events. Then I had a column that was task list. So you can just see I had task lists. I used boxes to mark that it was a task, and then I would color it in. If I completed it, I would cross it out if I didn't complete it, and then I would go through. I'm not quite sure what the difference is here with these colors versus the X's versus the check marks. That was obviously like a whole different system that I was using. I don't know exactly what was happening there. But then I also had this entire right hand side where I did journaling, and so you'll see that same kind of format where I have events, I have tasks, I have journaling. My handwriting is very different now. So this is just kind of what it looks like. I do notice, like, as I'm going through, that I change ink colors. There's like some purple. I know you can't really tell, but there's some purple and there's black ink. I put boxes around things. So this was apparently not an event, but I just wanted to make a note to myself. And then I wrote notes to myself on the side, and then right here you can see it's just like a messy kind of like sketch of an event that we were planning, right? And again, I just put notes in boxes even on this side, and I have like little notes to myself even on the events side, but I do try to keep it events, tasks, and journaling. And so yeah, so this is the first week, just showing you, like, if I had an event that I didn't do, I just crossed it out like that. I had several this day that I just kind of crossed out, right? And again, just notes to myself. I just kind of put notes everywhere. I write sideways sometimes. I don't do that as much anymore, so I know for sure that's something that's different. But I would cross things out, just notes to myself. I would move things around. I still do this. Like, I try to keep track of the tasks that I complete in order, all right? And so you can kind of see here, I completed task number 1, task number 2, task number 3. I still kind of do that even now, 15 years later. That's so funny that I'm looking at this and I see some very similar things that I'm doing even now. So this journal actually was my very first DIY, but it was also when I started my first big girl job. And so I've got a lot of notes for work in here, and it was a mixture of work as well as personal items, which nowadays I do keep separate. And so this is kind of what it looks like. And again, I'll just kind of end with, like, I think maybe Valentine's Day. Oh, I still use Post-it notes everywhere. Look at everything that's crossed out here, right? And then here, like, I still use sticky notes. Like I said, I have things in boxes. It's so fun to look at that, right? Okay, I'm not going to flip through all the rest of it, but again, if you want a full flip through, just let me know. But I wanted to show you at least a quick flip through of my February in my personal planner. And so I have in here a monthly that I don't use. And so that was very similar. Like here you saw daily planning. I have always pretty much been a daily planner. I do monthlies sometimes, but I hardly ever do it. Daily planning is really where my heart is at. I've got these pages that I never used. For February, I was doing time tracking. And so this is just kind of categorizing my time. So that's something that I've definitely added to my system over time. I wasn't very good at it, but I definitely did it. But that was just an addition for 2024. So I hardly ever do time blocking, but that is there. But I wanted to show you for sure my daily pages. So this is kind of picking up around the same time where it is, February. So again, I'll flip through, about 2 weeks worth. One thing that I noticed right off the bat is that I still do the same thing where it's kind of like, here's the events, here are tasks, and this side is mostly journaling. I still do the same thing. That's so amazing to me. Of course, stickers are a big deal for me nowadays. I do use a lot of stickers, and so that's a definite change for me. One thing that I did kind of like let go of, like the very formulaic, like, it has to be in this column, it has to be in this column, it has to be in this column. So it's a little bit more mixed, and I like that. I like having it be a little bit more free-form, so that is definitely a change in my planner style. And again, just like I said, definitely a lot more stickers, but I've also changed my handwriting. So not only is my handwriting a little bit neater, I've also started to hand letter. I've used stamps. So I try to keep it a little bit neater. And so that is different, but I can still see myself putting boxes around things. I've, again, like picked up hand lettering. I still journal, like I've got little journaling notes everywhere. I started tracking my food, so that's that, but I still consider that kind of journaling. But I don't journal in the same way. The big thing is, like, I do have like these little micro sections of journaling, but most of my journaling nowadays comes from bullet journaling, where it's just like a couple of words, and I keep it very, very simple, and I'm not writing like paragraphs. So that is a big difference for me. But again, like, I still do some of the regular kind of journaling. I like to date and time my journaling too, and so that is definitely something that I saw in here. So you'll see, like, I have times in here. I still do the same thing, right? Even here, I still do that. And again, I've always done kind of an hourly daily. And so I'm seeing so many similarities. It's so much fun to do that, right? So let's just flip through this and see if anything else kind of pops out at me. All right, what do you see as I'm flipping through this? Hopefully you're seeing, my big takeaway is I do very similar things. The things that I talk about are very different, but I still do very similar things. I'm going to go back to this page. So right here, I do put my work events into my personal calendar. So these are work events, the CCC. So yeah, I still put work and personal together. I do try to keep my work completely separate. So all of my work notes are in my work notes only, or they're only work notes. I don't have any personal notes in my work planner, but in my personal planner, I do have a little bit more crossover. So in my personal planner, I do sometimes track my work stuff. So this is, again, a work event. But yeah, it's just everything, right? And so I do, again, like still have to-do lists and events. I have events here and I cross them out still. You can see I just crossed things out just like I did in 2009, right? And this is kind of where we ended here. We were on a cruise. I think you saw in my 2009 planner, but it was actually our first year anniversary for me and my husband. And so here we are with our 17th year anniversary. So yeah, it's just kind of fun. But for me, the big thing is I noticed that I am still very similar, right? The big thing for me is that here in this 2009 planner, there are no stickers. There are sticky notes, like post-it notes, but it is still, from a functional planning perspective, pretty much the same. My handwriting has become neater. In this 2024 planner, I've added stickers, but adding the stickers didn't actually change my planning style. So I just thought that was fascinating to be able to kind of see like a 15-year evolution. What I did in 2009 when I was 15 years younger kind of still looks the same as what I do in 2024. So I don't know. I just wanted to like show you the visual here because I found this in my stash and I just thought, oh, let's just take a look and see what it looked like. And I saw a lot of similarities, but there are of course differences as well. So like I said, if you see anything that was similar or was different for you, please do highlight those in the comments. Of course, it is my own personal planning style, and so maybe I'm a little bit too close to it and I can't see certain things. So maybe you saw something that stood out to you. Please do let me know, and I would love to hear what you thought. Has your planning style changed over time? I feel like mine has changed, but maybe not as much as I thought it did. So, you know, of course, this is my personal planner, my catch-all planner. My other planners are a whole different beast and they look very different from this. So maybe that would be a better comparison. But I do still do the same things. Maybe that's the point, right? So I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed the walk down memory lane. It was just so fun to be able to see this 15-year-old planner and what I did in there. And it was actually kind of fun to read my journaling. I am not as self-absorbed as I was in this planner. So let's just put that out there. So it was just fun for me. And like I said, I really think that my evolution of planning has been additions, not necessarily subtractions for my style. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel. And until the next video, bye guys.